Secret Methods of Scraping. Welcome to Stalkit Tutorials. In this video, I'm going to teach you some of the secrets the top scrapers are using. I will show you things like how to scrape sitemaps and skip the need to go through very big search results lists, how to find hidden APIs and data, and how to use Stalkit to easily scrape auto-refreshing websites. These secrets will help you make your scrapers faster and avoid you getting detected and blocked. Let's start with sitemaps and understand first what it is and what it's meant for. Sitemap is a list of pages that are available in the website. You may see in many websites in the footer section link to sitemap, which is presented in an HTML page. However, in many cases, the site has a sitemap also an XML version. This is used mostly for search engines to find the relevant pages they need to scrape. Let's see an example of how to find the sitemap XML address. Let's say we want to scrape Sephora website and need data on all of their items. One option I have is to set a scraper that will go through all of the brands or all of the categories, and each one will follow all of the pages and get the links to their items. This process will probably take a decent amount of time. Instead, I will search for their sitemap, and the place where I will search is a file called robots.txt. It exists in every big site and contains a set of rules of what pages bots are not allowed to access. However, very often you will find there a link to the sitemap as well, because the real clients of these pages are the search engines and not the clients. As you can see, we have here a row giving us the sitemap URL. If we open this URL, we will find another list of XMLs that will contain list of links for different parts of the websites. You can see here brands list, product list, category list, and more. You can also find the same link in different languages. The one I want to use for this video is the product sitemap. If you open it in a new tab, you will see a huge list of probably tens of thousands of links that, after the page will finish loading, will look like a normal XML. Now, let's see how we Stalkit to scrape this sitemap. Let's do the normal process of adding a new scraper and open the scraper builder. I will then add a sitemap action, and in there I only need to set up two pieces of data. The first one is the URL I want to scrape. Let's copy and paste it into there. The second one is the table name where we want to store the data. I'll give it the same name. Because all sitemaps has the same format, I don't need to add any data extraction action, and it will automatically create the table, which will contain only the URL field. Let's save the scraper and run it. You can see how fast it finished loading, 9,468 results. And if you go into data, you can find all the items that Sephora has to offer on its website. Basically, if I wanted, I could have also entered the main sitemap XML URL, and then Stalkit will know to scrape each of the other XMLs in it, and I will get list of all links, including brands, categories, and other languages as well. Basically, what we could have done in probably about an hour setting up the HTML scrapers and running them took us less than a minute doing it this way. Sometimes you won't find a robots text file, but you can still try to add sitemap.xml or sitemapindex.xml to the site URL and might still find it there. The second secret I want to reveal to you is one of the coolest things in Stalkit options. Let's say we want to scrape some auto-refreshing websites like stock exchange, flight prices, or sport betting sites. In Stalkit, we have a feature to make the scraper, instead of reloading the page every time, just keeps the page open and rescrape the data every period of time. It makes the scraper run faster, not needing to wait till the page loads, and reduces the chances of getting detected to 0. Let's scrape the NASDAQ price quote as an example. I'll create the new scraper and set everything the same as I always do. I don't need to schedule it because the scraper will run only twice, but will continue its process until I stop it. I'll open the Yahoo Finance homepage and will set the data extraction action to take the NASDAQ current price, and will take also the percentage change. I will use the pin option to make sure I get only NASDAQ price quote and not anything else. The only thing I need to do in order to make it continue to run is to open the advanced options and, in the repeat every field, to put the number of seconds I want it to wait between each scrape. Let's put there 5 seconds. Save the scraper and run it. As you can see, I'm getting a new row inserted every 5 seconds, and this will likely run endlessly until I stop the scraper, or until I have no credits left. One important thing, though, is that because this scraper never finishes running, I won't be able to also get the email updates. But I can still access the data and export it whenever I want. The last secret I'm going to reveal to you is how to find secret APIs. In one of the previous videos, I showed you how to scrape for Zillow. I got many questions in response on how I even found this API in the first place. Let's open Zillow again and search this time for houses in San Diego, California. The first sign that there should be an API or JSON file is when the site is not refreshed and data is refreshed. Some smaller sites might load the full list of results ahead and just switch between what data is currently displayed. But for big real estate websites, it will just be too much data to store and will prefer to load it when the client is clicking on Next button. Let's open the Developer Tools window by clicking on F12. I'll move to the Network tab. The Network tab will show us all the communication that is done from our browser to Zillow's server. It will show us things like images that are presented on page, HTML pages, scripts, and more. However, it will only store data while this window is open, so in order to find the API, I have to click on the Next button while it's open. As you can see, many rows have been added on the network list. In order to find my API, I will take some piece of unique data from the page. It can be zip code, for example, or one of the prices. And in the Developer Tools, I will open the search panel by clicking on Control and F5, and will put there that piece of data. As you can see, I got one result which contains the API I was looking for. If you go to the Headers tab, you can see all the data you need on this request, and all you have to do now in Stalkit is to mimic this request and set it up in your scraper. Like explained in the API use cases, in many times you will also need to add some of the headers that are sent with this request in order for the source to read this as a legit request. In many cases, you will also find in the API data that is not displayed on page, or, for example, addresses that are shown as one line in the page. You will be able to see already split up to street, city, state, and zip code in the API. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching Stalkit Tutorials. You're welcome to leave any comments and suggest other cool videos we should make, or contact us by email with any other comment or suggestion you have. I wish you all happy and safe scraping.